friends. Today I'm gonna be doing a video about what you need to know before becoming an au pair. And for those of you that do not know, I was an au pair in London from July 2019 till February 2020. On my Instagram I get quite a few questions about how things worked, how that worked, how I should do this, and just basically if they have tips that I can give them to become an au pair. And I figured I would just do a public video for everyone that wants to become an au pair. You will find out what you're getting yourself into, because some of the things I've experienced I did not know, none of my friends told me about. Well, you'll never get an experience like I had in my story time. Let's get on with the video. So first I'm going to be talking about how to become an au pair. Okay, there are two ways. You can either go with an agency. An agency is quite necessary if you want to become one abroad. Like if you're European and you want to become an au pair in, let's say, the US. For the US you have to have a visa and you can't go there without an agency, because that will be illegally entering the country and you do not want to do that. So there's no other option than going with an agency. But if you're European and you would like to become an au pair in Europe, you don't need necessarily to go with an agency. I went with an agency at first, but I had to fill in so much paperwork and so much little things that my camera was dying great. And I didn't match with any of the families that the agency thought was a match to me, like with my personal preferences. Nothing matched, so I went with Au Pair World. So Au Pair World is a website where you can register and you can set up your own profile, and the host family can set up your own profile. They both look for the perfect match. So when things weren't really working for me with the agency, I listened to my friend who did an au pair in Italy, and she went with Au Pair World. I had a few FaceTime calls on Au Pair World and eventually found my family that I was with for 6 months. During that FaceTime call, you will get asked about your past life. That sounds very dramatic, but the things you did in high school, what type of sports you did, and just they want to get to know you. And it's not an interview necessarily, because they're looking for an au pair too. They need someone for their kids. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because I made myself crazy from being so nervous about the FaceTime call. And on Au Pair World you set up like this profile, and you also have to put in kind of a letter, and in that letter write as detailed about yourself as possible. Write in everything that you can think of. I wrote that my sister was doing her finals this year and she wants to study this and that my dad does this for work, my mom does this for work, and just tell them everything about your life. Not like intimate things, but they want to get to know you and you will be part of their family. Now then, contract wise, the most au pair families will tell you that they want to set up a contract. Some families might not, but even if they don't tell you straight away that they want to do a contract, just ask them if it's for your personal preference. For example, my dad wanted me to ask them for contract, and because it's just a lot safer, but then in the end they can always change it, so it doesn't really matter that much. But for me it's still a big factor that I would always ask about the contract. If they don't tell you straight away, you have to book the flights for yourself, but I don't think that's a big deal. Usually the agency would do it for you, but it's not that big of a deal. And it's also cheaper to go without an agency, because the agency was like 200 euros for me. If you want to go to the US you have to pay like 900 euros at least when I looked it up, and it's quite expensive. Yeah, healthcare wise I'm not sure how it worked for me. Ask your dad. My dad did it for me and he called the healthcare. So yeah, then everything you need to know before becoming an au pair, what you will be confronted with, just all that stuff that no one told me about. So, I worked from 7:30 till 9 in the morning. I got the kids dressed, so I just had to get them dressed and get them to school. It will be difficult, especially my host kid was 4 and she was quite stubborn. If she didn't want to get dressed, she would run up to the parents and be like, Hannah did this, and Hannah scratched me, and Hannah did blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there trying to get her dress on. So you will be confronted with a lot of kid stuff. And then I had a break from 9 till 3 o'clock. When I brought the kids to school, I only had to walk there, so it was quite easy. I usually cleaned up the kitchen and put away the kids' toys and just clean after their things, basically, if they didn't do it by themselves. Then I had a break. Mostly I was quite tired. You will be really tired during the week. So sometimes I had a nap, a 2-hour nap, and then went to the gym or went downtown or grabbed a cup of coffee. And then at 3 I picked up the kids again. Mostly the mom and dad were at work, so I had to give her like a little snack. Then we played together. Sometimes we went to the park together, and then I would make them dinner. You will most likely have to make them dinner. If you have a nice family, they will teach you some recipes. My host mom always told me some simple recipes that I could cook for her, and it always went fine. Then I would pick up the little boy at the nursery, and I would make him dinner as well and just play with them until mom and dad came home. My host mom worked from home quite a lot, but she was like always in her office, and it was quite difficult to not get her go upstairs to her mom and be like, "Mom, can we play?" She's really sneaky. She was always really sneaky. She would run up the stairs without me even knowing, and then the mom would come downstairs and be like, "Hannah, could you please not let her come upstairs? I need to work." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't see her." And you will make some sacrifices. I can't think of another word, but basically if you have to work half an hour longer, it'd be like that sometimes, honestly. It's not a big deal though. If you have a nice host mom, she will make up for it. She will tell you the next morning or tell you the next day that you have to work half an hour less. It was always that way for me with my host mom, and she would come up to me, "Yeah, you worked half an hour more. You can finish at 7:30 tonight." Because I would usually work until 8. I have to make some sacrifices, and also babysitting is a thing. Especially the week before I left, I basically did every Saturday babysitting. It's just a thing that comes with being an au pair. My camera died, but let's continue. I don't remember where I was exactly, but basically you're talking about the weekends and like eating in general. Let's continue with eating. I did not feel comfortable eating whenever I wanted. I did not feel comfortable eating with the family because I felt like they shouldn't be spending money on me on food. And shouldn't be spending their money on me, basically, which is bullshit. Don't think that, because you're there to take off their kids. They might pay you. Why is it focusing on the bottom? Is there a fucking ghost here? You're taking care of their kids, and don't be too scared to eat. I have a friend who was there for 7 months, and she was still scared after the 7 months to eat food from their fridge. On the weekends, when for breakfast I just didn't want to eat with the family, not gonna lie. I just wanted my peace. I didn't want to be surrounded by screaming kids in the mornings, and I went out to a cafe and had my breakfast there. Personal preference again, but I sometimes just didn't feel like socializing with them, especially in the weekends, because you feel like you can't really shut down from the kids because you're with them 24/7. So have that in mind, that you're with them all the time, and you can't just shut them down, you know? And try to become friendly with the host mom and the host dad. Try to become somewhat friendly. The host mom was really kind to me all the time. She let me sit with her childhood friends, and we like had drinks together, and she was really sweet to me. And just try to, when you finish work, try to have a somewhat conversation with them after you've finished with work or on the weekends, and try to, you will have a loss of sleep. You will be very tired to be with the kids. You will be annoyed at the kids, and that's normal. You will not always be 100% there. You will not be a workaholic all the time, and that's okay. You will also spend a lot of money, but basically, especially when you live in a big town like London, you will spend money on clothes. Everything is expensive. The tube is expensive. You want to go out and have fun with your friends. The thing is, you want to do things every single day, or at least like every second day. Try to put some money aside before you go to your personal favorite city to do an au pair. So that leads me on to the next thing, how to meet friends. I started meeting meeting or like talking to people on Facebook groups, like au pair in London, au pair, British au pairs, or anything in that matter. International au pairs living in London on Facebook groups. And I've talked about this in my last au pair video, but you basically text them, hi, I'm an au pair here, would you like to meet? I don't want to go into too much details, but that's just how I did it. You can watch my other video if you want to know more. By meeting people from Facebook groups, you might not get along with them, you might not ever want to see them again, you might not hit it off immediately, but that's normal. Like, don't blame yourself for not getting along with them at first, because you're basically building up your own life, and you don't get along with everyone, and that's normal. After meeting genuine people on Facebook that you genuinely like, you will meet their friends and you'll meet their friends. So yeah, that's how I met friends. One girl on my Instagram asked me if I had to work more than it was usually written in my contract at first. I did work more on some days, maybe some weeks, but if you have a genuine, nice host mom, she will make up for it, and she will give you the hours that you did more. She will give you as free time for the next time. Like, let's say you did 3 hours more, which is a bit intense. Now let's say you did 1 hour more, and she will say, yeah, you can finish work tomorrow 1 hour earlier since you did 1 hour more. I think that's everything I wanted to say. If you have any more questions, then leave them down below if you want to. Then I can also make another video, because I didn't really get a lot of questions on my Instagram to answer them, but it's basically all that I wanted to say. Quite a few videos that I want to film about being an au pair. First, like the negative sides of being an au pair and the positive sides, and then also the difference between England and Germany. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.